There we go. So as I was mentioning at the start here, I am on, you're like, oh, get a headache here. I'm on page 13. Page 13 and page 14. I'll zoom out. I don't even care. The two problems on 13 and 14. After what we did yesterday between the notes and the practice, you should be able to take this problem, do it correctly, see what they screwed up, and then explain what did they mess up, what was going on here. We said yesterday, sharing a strategy, it depends on the problem. If you've got, bless you, if you've got an idea, you can put one in here, but I definitely want to see these three boxes attempted to the best of your ability. And I just want to make one comment on the one on 14 because it made me smile when I saw it. I don't know, if some of you may not pay attention if you end up ever going out with your parents or something and they're doing the tip thing, but this just made me laugh. The restaurant bill is $35.40. Dimitri left a $177 tip. Oofda! That's either he has a whole lot of money or that was a really not good idea. I think it's the not good idea part. So, again, when you're checking that, you don't have to do it like they did with the proportion. We did it by multiplying by the percentage. Probably easier. Maybe it's why Dimitri screwed up. We'll have to see. So those two, 13 and 14, you need to be working on at some point. If you get a question, I'll answer a little, but I want to see what you can think of on those too. But today, we are going to start, and I'm going to zoom back in here. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to zoom back in on this. I'm not going to pound away a ton. I'm going to do a little. Some of it will be a bit repetitive from what we saw yesterday, kind of as a review. But I do have a new piece that I want to add to the puzzle. So, again, some things to think about as we start to do this, okay? Tax. We talked about this yesterday. Taxes. Boo. Extra money that your purchase that is going to the government to do who knows what with. So, ways you can be asked something. That's what I liked about this note sheet. Leave your answer alone. How much is the sales tax? How much do you pay in taxes? You only want to know the tax in that instance. But if it says, what is the total cost, then you need to go ahead and add that to it. So, just a couple of reminders as we get going here. How much is the tax? We have got to remember on the percentages. Either in your head or on the paper, you've got to do the division part to get that decimal. I'm still seeing too many cases where I'm seeing that stay as 4.5, which in actuality would be 450% tax. Oofda. So, take that number, multiply it by the price of your hoodie. Like I said, I'm not going to do all of them, but I do want to do a couple just to kind of get us rolling back in here. Go to the nearest cent. So the tax is 202, but the total Yep. So we have to read enough to know what am I being asked for. Now here's the good news. When you do tax, and we're going to star these this way. Tax, you're adding money to the cost. Okay? Tips. You're adding money to the cost. It's the exact same process as the tax is. It's still multiply by the percentage, and then add. So just so we can have numbers here, I will not slow down as much here to talk. But your food costs $25.50, you leave a 20% tip for excellent service. Make it the percent, divide it by 100, multiply that out. I don't trust myself today for some reason. I should have. So in this case, if you multiply $25.50 times 0.2 or 0.20 for your 20%, you'd have a little over a $5 tip. And the total is just putting them together. So literally, I did nothing different between tax and tip. Now, one of the type problems we're going to see today, though, which is why I wanted to still do this, is what if you have both tax and tip running on a bill? Okay? We're going to talk about that in the order that you want to do them in. Or at least I think you would want to do them in when you're working those out. So tax adds more. Tip adds more. Discount is going to be less. Same process, except you're subtracting the number. So we're buying an iPhone, and they're giving us a 30% discount, but I have to know what the 30% is before I can take it away. So I turn my 30% into a fraction. There it is in its decimal form. Multiply them together. Now that's some savings, people. $360. That's what I'm talking about. That's how much I save. That would be how much is the discount. But the sale price, you're subtracting it because you're saving money. And good for you when you do. Same process, though. I should have come down to this one when we were doing our other adders. I'm skipping commission for a minute. I know it's our new one. You do it the exact same way. You do tax, you do tip. So our only real thing with this, like I was saying before, is going to be we're going to have to be able to figure out what order do we do them in if there's multiples. And like I said, we're going to talk about that. So markup is adding. How much more are we getting taken for this toy around Christmas time? We work with that. Now, the one we haven't talked about yet, and like I said, this will come up again in a future unit when we get into pay and taxes and tax forms and all that other stuff. A commission. The money that you receive for selling something. Some places you work, you make money by the hour. Some places you work, you get a salary. You get a certain amount of money no matter how much you work. So like teachers, that's what we do. We get paid a salary, and the same teacher that puts in 40 hours a week and the other puts in 60, it makes no difference. You do what you do. A commission comes into play where you get an hourly wage usually or a small salary of some point, but you get more for the more you sell. So, you sell a car for $2,400. You get 3% as a commission. How much did you make? You're like, Hardy, are we doing the same thing again? Yup. We're still multiplying by the percent? Yup. We're going to be irritated at the amount of commission we're getting, though. We're like, I should really get more for that, for selling this car than I just did. Out of the $2,400, you get $72, but the lot dealer gets a lot more. But again, multiply. We're not adding it to anything yet. We're just figuring out how that works. So, here's how now we're going to try and put this to work. I want to specifically, as we get over here to 17, the first ones are all normal. 25% of, yeah, multiply, Hardy. Sales tax, total cost, Hardy, we've done all this stuff. Let's change the game around a little bit, though. Let's come down to number 8. Multiple things going on this time. You're shopping and see a store having a 25% off sale. That's good. The item you want costs $60. The sales tax is 8.5%. Ooh, multiple things. Okay. How much does the item cost after the discount? So I guess we got to do the discount first. And we do. So, $60 times 25%, 0.25. Now, the discount is $15, but is that the question? How much does the item cost now? Item minus discount. So we're now talking about a $45 item. So from that point on, whether you're talking about sales tax, a tip, whatever it is, it's based off of 45, not 60. So we got to do the discount first. How much is the sales tax after the discounted rate? Okay. So my $45 item. What's my decimal for the sales tax going to look like? 0.085. And again, we're talking money. So we're going to go to the nearest whole cent. So since that's 5, we'll round up to 383. Would I yell if you put 382? No. Okay, how much is sales tax? That's all it asked. That's what I'm going to tell you. And finally, how much is your total at discount? The item plus the tax. $45 item, not 60. Tax is 383. This is one positive thing I will say for now when you go into stores and they just have to type in or scan in a discount and it does all the work. Before then, I used to get into it with some people that would be like, okay, they charge me the sales tax on the full price and then try to take the percent off. I'm like, no, that is not how this works. And so, you know, you go into the big discussion and everybody's frazzled and that's no fun. But again, the main idea here is if there's a discount, we do that first. If the other things come into play, let's see what other things come into play here. I should find it instead of talking about it. Right? Right. Okay, discount. No! Oh, it didn't do what I wanted. Okay, I'm going to have to do what I want with that tomorrow. What I wanted you to see was what happens. Let me grab a piece. Hang on a minute. What happens, I thought I had one on here already. So let's just say, for instance, you don't have to put this anywhere because we're going to talk about it again tomorrow. Let's say you buy a product. So somebody make up a product. A what? Oh, pens, okay. So we're going to buy a box of pens for $10. But let's say there's a 30% discount, 10% tax, and somebody's going to be nice and deliver it to us. So we're going to give them a 10% tip. You're like, holy cow, like, bleh. Discount's always first. So I'd be like, all right, so $10 times my discount. Find my new price. Okay, so my new price on these pens is $7. You're like, okay. Tax comes next because the government has always got to get theirs before anybody else does. So, $7, 10%. So the government gets their 70 cents, which means my total to the store was $7.70. So they'd say, sir, your total today is $7.70. Okay, but I want to be nice since they're going to bring me my pens out here to the high school so I don't have to go get them. I'm going to give a 10% tip. So I would take the total, not just of the item, the total. And add that on. So my total with being nice, the government getting theirs, and my nice discount is $8.47. This is an intro to something we're going to see later in the unit called a chain discount. You can get multiple discounts, or you can have a discount and then have other parts that start adding back in. So we've got to be able to keep that stuff straight. This is why accountants make as much money as they do, because they've got to be able to keep straight what's coming in, what's going out, and make sure it gets into the right places. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow because it looks like I boneheaded and didn't stick that on this practice, and I thought I had. So, your job, again, work on those two problems with the mistakes, okay? The first two we looked at, and then what you can do here on 17 and 18, practicing with the discount and the tax, the discount, the tip, and the things like that. So tomorrow when we're doing this preview, it's not just going to be you writing going, I hope I can remember this. You're going to know what you're doing in advance and probably be done faster than I am. So